is we're going to talk about expressions and formulas. And so you're going to notice you have three terms here. You've already had these terms before. This is nothing new. Okay? A variable, you know, is a letter used to represent an unknown quantity. It can be anything. It can be x, y, n, whatever. Okay, so that should be nothing new. You've learned about this before. Algebraic expression is an expression that contains at least one variable. Now, real quick, when I say algebraic expression, that means no equal sign. Okay, what has an equal sign?
Solution.
What has an equal sign?
Equation.
An equation. So remember, an expression is no equal sign, an equation is. And then the order of operations, PEMDAS. This is something that you've learned about since probably about 4th or 5th grade. The order of operations, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, and addition, subtraction. A little bit about the multiplication, division, and addition and subtraction. They are the same, multiplication and division. They are the same hierarchy. How you determine which goes first is you work left to right. So if I've got a division problem on the left and a multiplication problem on the right, I do the division one first. Okay, so I always work left to right. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to look at some expressions, and we're going to go ahead and sub in some values, and we're going to find, in fact, what they equal. Okay? Now, if you didn't quite get all this down, what I'll do at the end is I can come back and let you copy off of that. Okay? So anyway, let's go ahead and look at that very first example. All right? So evaluate m plus p minus 1 quantity squared if m equals 3 and p equals -4. So all I'm going to do in this problem is sub in what for m and what for p, -4. So basically, I'm left with 3 plus -4 minus 1 quantity squared. So this is my expression I need to evaluate. So all I'm going to do is calculate. Order of operations states I do parentheses first in this case. So I have -4 minus 1, which is what?
-5.
So -5, and I'm going to square that. Order of operations states I do what next?
Yes.
Exponents. So -5 squared will give me what? 25. Why is it not -25?
Two negatives equal positive.
Yeah, because it's -5 times -5. So then last but not least, 3 plus 25 is 28. Questions on that? With that in mind, I want you to go ahead and complete this one right here. M plus 3 minus q quantity squared if m is 12 and q is -1. When you get your answer, I would like you to go ahead and type it into the expressions and click send, and we'll see how y'all do. Okay, so if you look here, majority of you got the answer of 28. Nice job. So let's go ahead and look at where we got 28. So here I have to plug in 12 for m. So I get 12 plus 3 minus -1 quantity squared. Okay, order of operations, I've got to do parentheses. Remember, subtraction means to add the opposite. So really, this gives me 4 squared. Do the exponents next. I get 16. Add it to 12, and you get your answer of 28. Okay. Questions? Oh, boy, that skipped a bunch. Okay, I need you to do this one for me then. Okay, evaluate a plus b squared. Okay, just a second, we'll try that one again. Okay, evaluate a plus b squared times b minus a if a equals 5 and b equals -3.2. Yeah, that's kind of an eye-opening thing. Let's go ahead and look at this, okay? -78.968. My guess is some of you made mistakes probably if you used a calculator. So here I've got 5 plus -3.2 quantity squared times -3.2 minus 5. Order of operations states you do parentheses first, so I'm going to go ahead and calculate this. That comes out to be negative 8.2. Okay? Order of operations now says you do exponents, which is this. Negative 3.2 squared comes out to be 10.24. What do you do next? Multiplication. So I'm going to multiply these two. And I should get negative 83.968. When I add that to 5, I get the answer, which was negative 78.968. Biggest mistake people make on these problems is they do too many steps at once.
Do we need to round on those?
No, leave them that way. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the next slide. Evaluate a squared plus 4c over 3b plus 2a. Okay, evaluate a squared plus 4c over 3b plus 2a. Okay, so you can see that the answer should have been 4.16. So let's go ahead and look at, and actually we had a higher percentage there, so that means we're improving. Good job. Okay, so a squared, if I go ahead and sub negative 2 in, I should have gotten 4. 4c, you should have gotten 16.8. Now, obviously, I'm cutting out some steps just for sake of time, but the bottom, you should have gotten 9 plus negative 4. Okay, when you add those two together on the top, you should have gotten 20.8 divided by 5, which gives you your 4.16. Any questions? Alrighty, so let's go ahead and look. We have 2 more slides to go. First of all, a formula. Now, once again, this is nothing new. This is something you should already know. A formula expresses the relationship between quantities. It expresses the relationship between quantities. And so we actually have an excerpt taken from your book, and it's about using a formula, and in this case, notice a tornado. It says the formula for the volume of a cone, V equals 1/3 pi r squared h, can be used to approximate the volume of a tornado. Find the approximate volume of the tornado at the right. So let's review a little bit. What does R stand for? Radius. Okay, so in this problem, what would be the radius? Okay, R would be right here. Okay, what is the 225? The height, which is h. Okay, so then now all I'm going to do is use that formula to find the volume. So volume equals 1/3 pi, R is 75, and then the height is 225. So the order of operations states that you are going to do the squared first. Okay, the 75 squared. Now when you square 75, what do you get?
5,625.
5,625. So now I'm going to work left to right. So there are 2 ways that we can do this problem. We can either get a decimal approximation by taking 1/3 times pi times 5,625 times 225. And when we do that, what do we get?
I'm doing it.
1325359.401.
That's what I got too.
Like that?
I got.
And then what was it? Point what?
0.409.
0.41? So my late,
409.
well, so 0.41.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so it would be meters cubed. That's one way. Okay, the other way is to just multiply the 1/3, the 5,625, and the 225. When I do that, what do I get? So I just want you to multiply those. And what do you get?
$421,875.
And if I go ahead and attach pi to that, since I didn't multiply pi through on all of them, I would get meters cubed. So that would be your other way to answer. And in fact, I prefer the way in the yellow. Okay? Reason being, when we get to pre-calc and calculus, it's better to have a more exact answer than it is to have the decimal. Questions? Okay, we have one last problem that we're going to go ahead and calculate real quick, and then you'll take your quiz. It says the formula for the volume of a rectangular prism. A rectangular prism is nothing more than a box. Okay, when I think about when they say rectangular prism, I think a box of Kleenex. Okay, that's all it is. A prism is a three-dimensional figure. L represents the length, W represents the width, H represents the height. Find the volume of a rectangular prism with a length of 4 feet, a width of 2 feet, and a height of 3.5 feet. So what I want you to go ahead and do is when you calculate that, I want you to go ahead and type your answer in on your expressions. Shouldn't take you that long, and we'll see what you get. Okay?
No.
I type other people.
Not necessarily.
Okay, so up here on the board, you notice that the answer was 28. Nice job. All you do is take 4 times 2 times 3.5. Okay, your assignment then for tomorrow is on page 7. So now notice we are out of the P pages, and we're on to page 7. Okay, this is section 1.1 of the very first chapter. I need you to do 11 through 25 and 29 through 34. And this is due tomorrow.